Okay, so first we're just going to invite you to kind of take a peek at the agenda for today, whether you're looking at it in that web-based version or the original agenda Google Doc that we emailed to you. The afternoon goes kind of quickly, and then you get that team time where you can process and reflect with your local colleagues. So at 1 o'clock, Tanya Wright will start, and she goes right up until break. So we know break probably won't start until a couple minutes late. And at break, near the end of break, you're going to click on that team link document, just like every other time this year, and you'll be able to either find the virtual link where your local colleagues are meeting, or you're in your own space and be able to work there. So we just wanted to name that, because if at the end of Tanya's time we're in breakouts and we're in a further conversation, when Tanya's done, we don't come back to this space. Now the space will stay open and we can help anyone navigate as is needed, but you will get to have your break and then start with your team, your local team, at about 2:05, and that's where the afternoon closes out. We will link the sketch form here in this agenda, as well as our reflection on the day, so that you'll have those. But I just wanted to name that right now, just in case we don't come back and officially end when Tanya is done with us. So I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to navigate to our Early Literacy Coaching Network site. Okay, so I just opened a new tab and I typed literacyessentials.org. And as I do that, this word quick links is up at the top, that dark blue shape. As I click on that, I'm going to scroll down to login. And if you are new to the network, we always have new colleagues joining, welcome. I'm going to show you what to do so that you can get access to our specific early literacy coaching site. We click here, ISD Literacy Coaches. Now, the majority of us have a login already. Our username is the email that we submitted when we first started this. The password is litcoach, all lowercase, unless you change that. But if you click right here, don't have an account, please click here to create an account. The wonderful Michelle Wagner, in partnership with Liberty Vets, are responding to that quite regularly. So if you don't have an account, they can help you with that. But I'm just going to type in the email that I have. No, I don't know if it's that one. I was just on here. Nope. Can't ever remember. There we go. Okay. Oh my goodness. For real.
You're making me feel better, Erin. We all go through these things, and
I know, and I'm, in front of people, so I typed the password wrong probably. All right, so this is our beautiful site. Thank you again, Michelle, and everyone who gives feedback on this and provides support in this. We've got everything here as, the big things here as images for us, with the beautiful coaches creating community support. Kayla Horton, thank you. Shout out to your leadership with that. Study groups, different things, our quarterly meetings, everything we've ever done in quarterly meetings can be found there. But today, we want to look at this new section called data collection. I'm going to click on that, and Dr. Lally is going to walk us through something. I'm going to give a little background really quickly. So last February, a year ago, we talked about collecting student learning data within coaching cycles. And then in May, different coaches who had tried that were able to present on a panel and share different ways that they were able to pay attention to student learning gains within a coaching cycle. And they shared their real stories about that. Well, we've been working with the coaching coordinators at each ISD. We kind of get together once a month. And in October, we invited them to help us think through the idea of offering for anyone in the network to submit a story, a template of data around student learning within and after a coaching cycle. The theme that we'd been kind of working on since February and considering that. And we talked with coordinators about, wouldn't it be interesting if we had maybe 100 coaches in the state? We have over 500 on our list, but what if 100 of them were able to identify a coaching cycle where student learning was the focus. And at the end of that coaching cycle, invite the teacher if it would be okay to share out unidentified that student learning that happened through that coaching cycle. The coordinators gave us great feedback, and Susan is here to tell us a little bit more about that today. So everything that you're going to see, your coordinator, your colleague at your local site will be able to give you more information about that and walk you through that. And we can always answer questions via email, but we wanted to show you where this is at. And Susan, thank you so much for being with us and for supporting this project.
Sure, it's my pleasure, and I'm really excited to hopefully getting some student data that we can use to support some of those success stories that Susan Townsend always wants us to share with different audiences. Before we go into the student learning aspect, I just wanted to share with you that the first thing on data collection is the observation of writing, instruction, and activities. We talked about that at the beginning of the year and had a panel about that as well. But if you have trouble locating where that particular document spreadsheet is and you want to use it, it's here under data collection, because it is a form of data collection for you to find out what is going on in the classrooms in which you're observing. The first thing related to the data collection about student learning is an information sheet, and I'm not going through everything on it, but you can read through it. There's also a place at the end where you can download a copy. I think the most important thing is we're collecting this data to provide evidence of our work with students to different audiences, to us as a coaching network, to GELN, to MESA, and even to legislators, so that we will be able to give them some broad ideas, such as over the course of 100 coaching cycles, 85% of the students met or exceeded the expectations. Something that general for legislators, so they know we're having an impact on student learning. And as Erin said, we're inviting you, if you are doing a coaching cycle and that coaching cycle has student learning goals. Some of your coaching cycles are really focused on enhancing teacher practice, not yet focused on student learning. But many of you are working on things that have student learning goals, and that way you can share that data with us. Now, when I say with us, I mean, we're asking you to share it with me to my email address, and we can put that in the agenda. And it may be that one or two coaches or Erin and Nanny will help me analyze that data. So these are the only people that will actually see it. And also remember that you can you can use a pseudonym for yourself and for the teacher's name on that data. We're not looking at individual cases. We're looking at what does the data look like as a whole. So then when we look at the data collection template, it's right now in a Google form. You can share your Google form with me. If you go to the bottom, the template is actually there that you can download. You could share that Google form with me, or you could download your template as a Word document or as a PDF, however you would like it, and then just send it to my email address. And if you kind of have forgotten what that template looks like, there are some examples, 3 different examples. One, the group who took the DRI study group, they're all sending me an example from one of their classrooms. There's one on writing, and then there's one on oral retelling. So you can just see kind of how the differences are. They're very simple, and feel free to lift as much of the language from any of those as you wish when you're doing your own. So what I'm thinking of, for those of you who are really involved in coaching cycles and you're gathering this data already and it's looking good and you just want to be able to share it and make sure that we're seeing that impact on student learning, I'd love to see it, and we'd love to put it into our story of successes. If you have any questions about anything that you're doing as you're going through, feel free to email me. And we're hoping to get about 100 examples. I already have quite a few from the differentiated reading instruction group, and looking forward to getting some more from people who are doing other kinds of coaching cycles, either writing coaching cycles or any other kind, phonics, phonemic awareness, whatever area that you're working on and that you're gathering student data in. So I'm excited to see what might come in, and I'm hoping that we'll have excellent things to share with people. Remembering that we always like to see good examples of student learning, but you can also learn a lot if your students, maybe not all of your students met the expectations the way you wanted to. What you learn from those cycles is really important as well. So thanks, Erin. Is there anything else that you think I missed?
No, we're good. And Tanya, we'll start yours a couple minutes late today, but that's okay. We'll just kind of push back the rest of the time. So Annie, what would you like to share with us?
Hi, everybody. I will be very brief, and I will say what I'm going to share with you this afternoon is a preview, and then I'm going to proofread this, and I will link it into the agenda for you. Many of you have reached out either through our optional gatherings that we've had thinking about the modules, but shared just some concerns around trying to get credit for the module work that you've done. Hopefully you're seeing my screen. You seeing everything okay? Okay, perfect. So we just gave you a little background on why this might be happening. You may or may not want to read that. We also just talk you through, there's an early literacy resources folder that you can get access to. We just want you to know that is there, but some caveats of that, of how you might want to use it. And once you have that, so you are able to receive it after you've completed a course. And so once you have that, it's really excellent to use for professional learning. But as you'll see in here, you'll want to go through your own courses if it's something you're wanting to receive sketch credits for. Anytime that you can't find a Michigan Virtual module for the essentials, we put a website that they've given to us from Michigan Virtual. Stacy Shu was great and met with Michelle Wagner and I to kind of talk through some things, and always told us that we can submit a help ticket. But this that I moved to the second page here is the big idea that several people were having some issues where they were in professional learning with people going through the modules and watching them complete it, but it wasn't showing as complete, or you've experienced that yourself. And so what we've done is just talk with Stacy, go through some language with her about how you could communicate this information to their help desk, things that would be helpful for them to have to sort of just expedite this process for all of you and for them, so they kind of have consistent messaging. So we hope this will be supportive to you and in your work if you're having difficulties getting credit for the work you've been doing with the modules that are really supportive and excellent to all of our learning. So I will link that into our agenda as soon as I give it one more check over, and hopefully that is helpful to you. And thanks to Stacy and to Michelle for your help in that situation too. And Erin, I'll turn it back to you. And I think you're introducing our next guest before we get started with Tanya.
Yes. Hi, Julie. I see you. Thank you so much for being here. We're excited to learn from Julie Bremer from MDE.
Thank you, Erin, and hello, everyone. So many faces. This is exciting. I couldn't have written it any better, that what I'm about to share with you is so perfectly integrated with what we heard this morning when we were listening to the presentation by Dr. I hope I'm saying it right now, Philapikos. She focused on writing, as you'll recall, and she mentioned 4 little letters, SRSD. This may be familiar to some of you. Christy Gilbert, I saw your note in the chat earlier today that you have some familiarity with it. And I'm excited to tell you about an opportunity that MDE is able to bring to the state. So Providence College, AIR, and an organization called Think SRSD, which is one of 2 organizations that offer professional training in SRSD, wrote a grant, one of the Education Innovation Research grants, and they were awarded this grant late last year. They reached out to Michigan looking for a state to partner with to find participants who would be interested in engaging in free professional learning and materials over the term of this 4-year grant. So we are super excited to open this up to schools across the state. We are hoping to gain a lot of interest. This document will be linked from the agenda. So I will start by saying, for more information, it'll probably be easiest to link to this and read through it yourself. I don't want to read it to you. If you're interested in learning more about this opportunity, we are going to have a series of webinars throughout the day next Thursday on the 17th. So if you're interested in attending that, you can kind of see in the middle of the page where it says for more information, and at the end of that, it says complete this form. It's just a really short Google form where you would just put in some contact information so we have an idea of how many people are expected to attend the webinars next week. Leslie Loud and Laura Hauerwas, who are two of the people who wrote the grant, are going to be delivering the webinar. So they are the best people to answer direct questions that you might have about it. There are also, you can see there, 2 PDF links there with information about this study and about SRSD. So we've tried to provide you with as much as you need to at least garner some interest and know that you want to come get some more information. I can't give you all of that today, although you're welcome to reach out to me at any time, and my email address is at the bottom. So I just want to take like one more minute and then I'll turn it over to Dr. Wright because I want to respect her time. But just to give you an idea of what SRSD is, self-regulation strategy development. It was born out of special education in the 1980s. So this is, talk about evidence-based practices. This has a research base decades strong. It is extremely effective in writing, and also that self-regulation component is one of the things that makes it stand apart. There's a lot of self-talk and skills that are taught to students through SRSD that carry over into every aspect of their learning and their lives. When they hit difficult situations, they have some skills in place to talk through them. And as we know, writing is definitely one of the places where that happens often with adults and kids. So that's one of the unique things that sets SRSD apart. It is not a curriculum or a program. It is not something that you purchase and then you have a script that you follow and things like that. It is a framework for teaching writing instruction that carries over into other curricular areas. So it really has cross-content opportunities. Like writing is a part of social studies, writing is a part of science. And so you're able to bring all of those things and connect writing to all of those things through what you learn in this professional learning. It does provide structure, both to teachers and students, for organization, to teach and to write. And it does address some of the things that we touched on this morning, text structure, audience, purpose, all of those things are integrated within SRSD. So you can probably tell that it's something I'm really passionate about, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I invite, even if you think you can't come to the webinar next week, or you think I just need more information to take back to my school, please feel free to fill out that form. And again, reach out to me with any questions that you have. Thank you for giving me a little platform today to share that opportunity.
Thank you so much, Julie. I really appreciate you being here. And it's timely to learn about that. And potentially.
Couldn't have written that better. Thank you for just planning the whole morning around my 3 minutes.
So everything is here in this 12:45 to 1:05 time. And we, if it's not linked in here, it will be linked pretty soon. And you can always refresh the agenda for that. And as always, slides from the presenters that we're able to share, we will link in here, and recordings that we're able to record, we will link back into this agenda. So